The vampire facial, what is the right name for it?
Platelet-rich plasma.
Okay.
And that's where you draw 15 mils of blood out of a person and spin it down and then separate the blood to get platelet-rich, which is where the stem cells and the rejuvenation factors are involved.
What are the things that you can improve with a vampire facial?
So it helps with the refining of the skin, pores, the general well-being, the natural glow of the skin.
It's essentially an anti-aging, it's an overall general improvement of the skin. Tighter pores. Does it help with tightening of the skin, or is it just the texture of the skin that's refined?
It's texture, and if you're going to use a needling device, that does help because you're stimulating the collagen and the elastin as well.
These are from the practice, and I think that all practices should have sweets. There's nothing worse for me than having my blood taken and I don't get a sweet afterwards. Is it indicated for pigmentation or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. It's more for your mature skins, people who have had hair loss, which helps with the rejuvenation of the hair loss, as well as scars and chronic wounds, so wounds that won't heal like ulcers, etc. PRP has been used for a long time in sport injuries to actually help to accelerate the healing of the sport injuries. So like your Achilles tendon, your knees, a lot of people, that's how it started, and now it's moved over into the anti-aging.
I've been using Dermacutic for at least 3 weeks now. I'm really enjoying the brand. So the C25, is that a vitamin C cream?
It's got a vitamin C, A, E, and a few other.
Every time I put it in my face, I'm like, this is like nice, all the best little bits of naartjie and oranges, and that's what I imagine. It probably isn't, but I'm like thinking it's all that vitamin C goodness. If somebody has a scar on their face that they want to get rid of, with the vampire facial or platelet-rich plasma therapy, would that be a good treatment for it, or would you need another kind of treatment?
Yes, platelet-rich plasma would be good for it, and it's not necessarily has to be done with needling, with a needling device. Some people actually inject it into the scar or under the scar, free-handedly. So there are different methods of actually administrating PRP.
So in other words, you could inject the plasma into a scar the way that you would filler.
Yes, but just more superficially, so it's right under the scar, yes.
To stimulate your body's own regeneration process. That's why. So when do you see results? How long does it take for the results to show?
It is a very gradual result. So normally you start seeing results. You'll see a bit on the first, but it's more from the second and third treatment.
So this needs to, your vampire facial, you need to repeatedly have this treatment.
1 to 3 sessions, depending on what you're treating.
And how often can one go for?
Once a month. It's normally a month.
Once a month. How long does it take before you start seeing results with a vampire facial?
That would vary from person to person, and also how they read the collagen and the stimulation occurs. So it depends also on the severity of what you're treating. So very mature skin that has lots of wrinkles and lines, they seem to see a better improvement quicker because it's more evident. But a person with a really good skin, it's more of a preventative in some instances.
Okay. Oh, so this is my blood, and and you're going to draw this part up.
Yes,
you're going to use the platelets.
Rich.
Is there a limit of how many treatments you should go for, or?
They recommend at least 3 treatments at a month interval, but again, that varies from what we're treating. In instances where there's more of a healing need, you can do more treatments. You draw 15 mils of blood, which gets spinned down in a centrifuge, which actually just separates the platelet rich from the rest of the product in the blood. This is then taken, and depending on how you're going to put it back into the skin, you can either freehandly inject it or with a needling device. And once you have finished the procedure, you can then take the remaining platelet rich and put it on the skin with a sunblock over, and you encourage the clients only to wash their skin later that evening, even if they can leave it on until the next day. It's going to feel like dried egg yolk on your skin.
I was just about to say, it reminds me, the texture and what it looks
Yes.
like reminds me of egg yolk. Pain-wise, people always want to know, what is the pain like? It comes and it goes, it ebbs and it flows, so it's not consistent. I think it literally just depends on the efficacy of the cream. Well, the cream is efficient, but obviously the numbing cream wears off after a certain time. So in the beginning, you don't feel a lot. In the areas where your skin is close to the bone, such as on your forehead, you can feel quite a bit. On the areas of your face that's more meaty, for example, on your cheeks, you don't feel it as much. But then on the top lip and on the chin, it was quite sensitive, and on the nose, it was a 1 to 10 pain scale. It was a good 8, I would say. So sometimes there's a good 8, and then sometimes it's like a 4. So it is bearable, and I think it depends from person to person. I kind of have a feeling that because women's bodies are geared for childbirth, I think women wouldn't be a wuss with this kind of treatment. I generally don't mind pain when it comes to beauty. Seriously, I would go through it again. I would be able to cope with it again. And I think I would like to have the second and the third session if the results are good. So I'm really curious to see what the results is going to be like. I don't think this therapy would have been around for this long if it wasn't a really good and efficacious anti-aging and just a glow-giving kind of treatment. So I'd be super curious to try it again. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it.